Hey guys, what's going on? Roland, and here you guys know what to do. As always, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get into today's video. So the first bit of news is about Kepa Arrizabalaga, and if we didn't know already, this is just a little bit more confirmation that he is probably going to be leaving. And that is Chelsea star will be on his way after fallout with head coach Frank Lampard. Chelsea head coach Frank Lampard has been backed to sell Kepa Arrizabalaga by Mark Bosnich. As far as I can tell, he is not a massively in the know guy. So this, I'm not entirely sure on the validity of this one. But I mean, as fans ourselves, we can see that there's obviously a problem here because Kepa's not performing. He got dropped for Willy Caballero in the most recent game. Probably going to be dropped for the Arsenal game. So realistically, we know that there's been some sort of fallout and we're going to be seeing him on his way, but this article links towards a fallout between Frank and him, and I guess that's maybe Kepa saying he's maybe not had the backing, he's not got the confidence, I don't know, something like that, or that Kepa's maybe fighting for, trust me, give me another year, I can perform to, a top standard for you next year. It's just been a tough year for him or whatever. And maybe Frank's just like, look, I can't give you another year. I've done, well to get Chelsea in the top four and into a cup final. That's a good achievement for Frank in his first year with us. But next year I've got to improve. I've got big ambitions. And it looks like, the whole reports of the Russian wants Oblak that came out from Atletico Madrid. And it looks like Roman, our owner, is also keen to get rid of Kepa. So I don't think Kepa's got much chance of staying. Of course, the deal will have to be right for him. Like, we can't just tell him to go away. Like, we could terminate his contract, but that's going to be expensive for us. So we are going to find something that he's happy with, something that the club's happy with, and there'll be a fine balance there because we're also going to have to find a club that's willing to either pay his wages or willing to pay a transfer fee for him. But it's going to be an iffy one. So are we going to get most of our money back from Kepa? I doubt it, but it looks like it's almost certain at this point that he's going to be going. Then the next story, Chelsea now expect Willian to complete Arsenal transfer, and as you can see, basically tell by the title itself, Chelsea are expecting to just lose Willian this summer on a free. He says Willian had been happy to stay in West London, but he was unimpressed with our 2-year offer. His representative thinks he deserves a 3-year extension. That would go against our policy, which is normally 1 year to anyone over 30, and we offered him 2. So, we even broke our policy anyway, but 3 just is a bit ridiculous, I think. And it's going to limit his opportunities now that Hakim Ziyech has come in, and Chelsea aren't going to give him a 3-year deal, and it's just not looking good for Willian. And it does bode the question to me of, like, are we going to are we going to sign a winger? Like, do we need a winger? In that regard, without Willian, we've got Callum Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, Willian will be gone, Pedro will be gone. Of course, Mason can play out on the wing. We've got a few options out there, but we probably need more out-and-out wingers because, I know Kai Havertz, I think, can play out on the right side. Hakim Ziyech, obviously, can play out on the right side and centrally, so that would be a good sort of combo. We've got players that can move around. But do we need an out-and-out winger, maybe a squad player? In my eyes, the wise option here would be bring in Said Benrahma because he's obviously got the quality in the Championship to be hitting the numbers that he's hitting, and that would only be good for Chelsea to bring in more goals, more assists. And he could, he's potentially done the job with Brentford. Brentford could be going up if they do well in the playoffs. So it could be a good time for him to leave. He'd be like, look, I've done the job. I've helped you guys get to the Premier League, but now's my time. I'm gone. Or he might want to say, you know what, I'm going to stick here. I'm going to try and do it in the Premier League with Brentford. But he knows that we're a step up from Brentford. So we could bring him in. I think he would be accepting of a, fight for your place kind of role. No one's guaranteed a start in this team. So, if you're good enough, you'll start. That's basically how it is with Frank. And maybe Said Benrahma would see that and think, I can perform better than Callum Hudson-Odoi. I can perform better than Hakim Ziyech on the wing. And, I can outscore Pulisic or whatever. Like, he'd have to do a damn good job to do so, but if he thinks he can do it, then bring him in, and he'd be a good squad player because he's coming from the Championship. We're not bringing an elite talent from like Bayern Munich or somewhere, Real Madrid. We're plucking like elite talents from big clubs. We're taking him a step up, so you'll understand he has to work his way into this team. Whereas, someone that you buy from Real Madrid, for example, you sort of be like, okay, well, I expect to start if I'm coming to your club. So yeah, an interesting one. Looks like Willian's gonna be going. I'm fine with it. I think I would like to see us maybe bring in a winger, just to fill up the depth in the squad. Because you imagine Callum, maybe we've seen he's got injury problems. Callum gets injured, maybe Hakim Ziyech gets injured, and then you're running low on wingers at that point. So we definitely need someone in just to fill up the squad a bit. And Said Benrahma would be the obvious choice for me, but Chelsea have obviously got their own ideas. He is a target there, so we'll see what happens with this one. But if Willian does go, I'll be very thankful for everything he's given us. But it's probably time to move on, And the next story is about the forgotten striker. Michy Batshuayi intends to quit Chelsea permanently this summer. And if we didn't sort of already know this one, it was kind of obvious, like we weren't really expecting Michy to have much of a future at Chelsea given how he's performed this season and other seasons, to be fair. He's never really hit insane numbers for us. But he was signed for €39 million in 2016. And it looks like he's living his final moments at the club. The interesting point in this article is Batshuayi has no intention of moving to a club in Belgium, nor West Ham United, which was a lazy tabloid rumour according to this report. They could be making this up themselves. But it does look like he's saying he doesn't want to move, back to Belgium, in his home country, and it's not going to be West Ham, which we've seen, the links of maybe a Declan Rice swap deal alongside like Barkley and a Fikayo Tomori loan or something along those lines. And that's not going to be happening. He's not going to be leaving for West Ham, so I guess he's got bigger aspirations than West Ham, which you can't discredit the guy for. It's fair. It's his career. He can aspire to move wherever he wants. I could see him going out to France, possibly. But Chelsea are definitely going to be looking to get rid of Michy Batshuayi. That's less wage to pay and get a bit of a fee for him. Whether we'll get, around that €39 million that we paid for him back in 2016, I'm not so sure given his form. I'd maybe expect somewhere between 20 to 30 million is probably fair. He's only 26, I think, so that's not too old. He'd be alright, I think. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult one for us to find somewhere for him to go, but at least we know it's not going to be West Ham, so that deal with the whole swap thing with Declan Rice maybe not going to happen. And then I wanted to finish the video off with some Kai Havertz news, and it's Havertz is now waiting for the move. Chelsea are really close to Kai Havertz, which is great news. Official talks are ongoing very fast with Bayer Leverkusen for the CFC official bid around €80 million. So that's that is our official bid. I'm pretty sure that he's saying that we've made that bid. That bid has happened. Given I want a cheeky like, of course. So basically the official bid has gone in €80 million. I think that Leverkusen were probably pushing toward 90 million, but I don't think €10 million is going to make that much of a difference. That might be without add-ons as well, so it's possible that that's the case. But either way, I think €8 million should do it. It might just be changing a few little numbers, so maybe it'll accumulate a little higher than that. But basically, this deal is going to happen, and as it says, Havertz is now waiting for the move, and we're really close to it. So, given that our game is on Sunday against Arsenal in the FA Cup, I think someday after that, we will probably see the announcement of Kai Havertz, and that's smart from Chelsea. I think one in regards of if we win the game, and then obviously we've got the trophy, we're gassed for like a couple of days, and then they're going to announce it, and just the fan base is just going to be like insanely like gassed again, and that's going to be really awesome. Or worst case scenario, we lose against Arsenal, everyone's sad, and then they can announce it, and it'll be like, oh well, we didn't win the trophy, but oh my god, we've signed 21-year-old German wonder kid Kai Havertz. So very smart move from Chelsea to be waiting. And I've seen a few people saying, like, is he worth the money? Is he worth this, like, €80 million? It's going to be a record signing for us, possibly. And I just want to go over a few stats for anyone who hasn't seen what Kai Havertz is about. So he is 21 years old, and it's crazy to think he's younger than me. He's 189 centimeters, so I think he's about 6'2", and quite a decent weight to him. He's not going to get shrugged off the ball all that easily. In the Europa League this season, made 3 appearances, had to get 3 goals and 2 assists, which is fantastic from 3 games, with an 8.08 average rating. Keep in mind, 6 is average, so 8.08 is very good. In the Bundesliga, 29 appearances, an extra 1 as a substitute, managed to get 12 goals and 6 assists, which is fantastic. Passing success rate, as you can see here, is all very common, like around 85. It's a very good number to be hitting, and he wins a good amount of aerials per game as well, and a few man of the matches in these games. But in the Bundesliga, his average rating is 7.24, and to think that he's done that across a whole season, very, very impressive. Like, a few different players can hit a 7.24 every few games, but to think that he's done it consistently over a season is absolutely outstanding. In the Champions League, he made 5 appearances, no goals, no assists, but did manage a 6.42 rating, so an area I'm sure he'll improve in, obviously against harder opposition. So then, as you can see, most of his games he played 17 appearances in the attacking midfield centre position. So if we're playing a 4-3-3, he'd probably be one of the 2 8s that pushes slightly further forward. Or if we play a 4-2-3-1, he would be that centre attacking midfielder. 4 goals, 4 assists from the attacking midfield role. He actually weirdly performs best when his 4 appearances out on the right-hand wing. He had 4 appearances with 2 goals, 2 assists, and got an 8.11 average rating out on that side. He's played a good few games at striker as well. 7 appearances at striker, 7 goals, 1 assist, with 7.76 average rating. So this guy obviously is hitting insane numbers. Like, to think that he can play pretty much anywhere up the spine of the team from midfield and anywhere up the right side as well. He can play further back on the right hand side, he can play in the centre, further up on the right and further up all the way to striker. So it's pretty insane. His characteristics, his strengths, he's very strong in the air, which is something I feel like we need. It feels like when we have a corner, Zuma's the only one who ever really gets on it. And so that'll be a good one. And of course, for crossing in as well and arriving late in the box, that's going to be crucial. Other strong attributes are passing, through balls, finishing, holding onto the ball and dribbling. From midfield, the fact that he's great at passing through balls, same thing but different types, as well as finishing, holding onto the ball and dribbling. Like, this guy is going to be insane. His weaknesses can be crossing, so from out wide, maybe not the best at crossing, and then defensive contribution and tackling. So he is going to be given a much more of a free role. If he is one of those 2 number 8s, we're going to need him to press, which is, something Frank's going to have to teach him, because our 2 number 8s do press and try and put pressure on the back line. So it is something he's going to have to improve on. And I'm sure he will, because, this guy's young, he's only 21 years old. His style of play is he likes to do layoffs, so little flicks, likes to cut inside, he's a counter-attacking threat and does not dive into tackles. So all great styles of play to have there. And then, as you can see, look at these goals and assists just littered on this recent games list. It's insane. And look at these average ratings. This is probably his worst rating, which was just below average, and the rest of them all pretty solid. So all in all, I cannot wait to get Kai Havertz in. As I've said before, I'm like, if I had to put a percentage on it, I would say I'm 97% sure this deal is happening. Like, it's just creeping up slowly. This deal is basically going to happen. And I hope you guys are excited too, because this is going to be an awesome one when we get to officially announce it. And it's just Chelsea fan base is going to be mad. Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Hakim Ziyech. What a set of 3 signings we've made already, and there's more to come. So it's going to be awesome. But anyway, I'm going to end the video there. If you did like, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. See ya.